Welcome to Spiritually Raw. We expose and explore controversial truths, myths, and theories surrounding the spirit world. Guests include QAnon experts, investigators, debunkers, and skeptics of the supernatural, unexplained, and flat-out unimaginable. Content discussed on this show is not necessarily the opinion of the cast of Spiritually Raw, and topics quite often are for mature audiences only. This show is not intended to replace any medical, financial, or legal advice and is for entertainment purposes only. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Hello, everybody. How are you? And welcome to Spiritually Raw. We hope you woke to the most miracle morning and are also having the most fortunate day today. We'd also like to thank you for your energy exchange with us today. It really means a lot that you allow us in your home so we can have these great conversations with you. Today, we have a very special guest who's also part of the Collective Super Channel. And you probably have already been hearing about her a lot. She has put out a video related to the quantum med beds, which we'll get to in just a moment. Her name is Maria Bernardis. So as you see her, just wave to her. She'll wave back, I'm sure. Yep, so she's there too. And I do want to also remind you that if you haven't already, just kindly hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. So when, thank you, I appreciate it. when you get turn on the notification bell so you are aware when we do get great guests like Maria. And listen, if you need to reset your mind, body, spirit, seriously on this, you need to reset your mind, body, and spirit, visit our friends over at hempworks.com/spiritually raw. You'll be glad you did, and just see what they can do for you, what they've done for us, and see how
and
that
Maria
works.
too.
And Maria too.
All three of us.
That's why we're always laughing and full of joy.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's so true.
And and vibrating at that level to manifest and attract. So listen.
Well, hold on. You always forget this part.
What?
Number one. Before we forget, thank you. Not that part. Before you forget, if you could hit the like button and the subscribe, we'd really appreciate. That's number one.
I did say that.
Actually, no. Number one really is thank you, everyone, for all of your love and support. Number two, if you don't mind, take a quick second and hit the like button and the subscribe. And number three, if you haven't also joined our Telegram channel, please do so. That's where we put all the shows. We communicate. It's a great communication tool.
Right on. Y'all good?
I'm good now.
You want to tell us about Maria?
I would love to tell us about Maria. And as Jay mentioned, she's not only on the Collective Super Channel, she's also on the Quantum Super Channel as well. And you know what? We're getting ready to launch 2 more Super Channels very soon. Yeah, so we're excited about that.
We'll keep everybody updated on that one.
Mm-hmm. Maria Bernardis, founder of Greekalicious. She's a chef. Food. I know, it's the best food. She's a chef and health and wellness coach, and she's also an award-winning cookbook author. And if that's not enough, she's an instructor with the New Earth University. Now, Maria healed herself by adopting an ancient Greek practices and tools, which included CBD oil, and it was used in ancient Greece. Maria suffered many years of health issues and multiple surgeries, including the removal of 1 3/4 of her left lung. That led her to ancient Greece for solutions in Mykonos, Greece. Now, today she's going to be talking a lot about, we're going to learn her backstory because I actually don't know it. This is going to be very interesting for all of us. I only know from what I read, and it's pretty interesting. And she's also going to be talking about the quantum med beds, which we all know are the healing technologies that have been hidden but are coming out real soon. And there are 3 different types of beds. There's a holographic, a regeneration, and then also regression and rejuvenation bed. Healing capsule. We're going to talk about the Tesla coils, chambers, age regression. Maybe if we have some time, we're going to throw in there some free energy, and also self-healing with ancient Greek practices.
It's one hell of a packed show. Okay, everybody. So join us in welcoming Maria to the show. Maria, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Oh yeah,
I've been watching you for months.
Thank you very much. We've been
you.
looking forward to having you on. So there's a lot to talk about with you. So if it's okay with you, I want to dive in and get some questions answered. I want to start off with some of the notes I have, Maria, if that's okay with you. That early on you had some issues with suicide attempts. There were some illnesses. You had your mother passed from cancer. The doctor says you were likely to die from cancer also. That's a lot going on right there. What happened, and what do you think triggered those events that got you those suicidal tendencies and that thought process going for you?
Yes, well, definitely my childhood trauma. So, when my mother died, we were sort of sent to Greece to live with my grandmother. Then I went back to Australia and lived with my father and stepmother. And unfortunately, they were very physically and emotionally abusive. So, for example, because I wouldn't steal and lie, they would basically hit me with a drumstick, lock me up in the basement, and not feed me for days. So,
wow.
Yeah, so this trauma, really takes its toll on you, not only emotionally, but in the spirit. And if we don't heal it, it carries on in life. So then I married, someone. So my husband was then abusive and did the same thing to me. So as you can imagine, I was in this vicious cycle of attracting these violent people. And it's not until you heal all of this that you can really free yourself from all of those, suicide attempts. I didn't want to live. It was like, what's the point of living? Everybody is physically and emotionally abusing me, and everybody's rejecting me. So, so it was a vicious, unfortunate downfall spiral for me.
At what age did you say, you know what, I'm not going to take this and I'm going to take control of my life?
I would have to say it was in my late 20s. The reason being is, in my 20s is when all the lumps started to happen in my body. And therefore, I was sort of forced to assess, why is this happening? Why am I so angry? Why am I having these suicidal, tendencies and attempting suicide? Why am I so unhappy? And then, that sort of turned into me abusing myself. So in other words, I was then doing what my father did to me to myself. And so that was the catalyst that I needed to do something to change.
Your attempts at suicide, were they attempts, and I don't want to minimize this by any means, Maria, but were they attempts to really get noticed, or were they real physical attempts where you were like, I'm going, and someone came in and saved you, or i.e. something woke you up and said, you better save yourself? Can you help us with that part?
Absolutely. They were physical attempts in terms of taking, pills and so on. And then the other times when I attempted, I was stopped. I felt these angelic beings come and stop me at that moment. For example, one of them, I have to say, was when I moved here to New York, because I had many people take advantage of me. And I have to say, I was at the edge of jumping into, the Hudson River and just saying, I've had enough. So because I could feel the 3D energy and the evil. And it was like, God, why have you brought me here? I've healed myself, and now I'm, you've put me in the Shark Tank.
Why do you think you ended up in New York?
Well, God guided me that I needed to be here, that this is where the center of a lot of the wisdom and the major decision-making in the future would happen, and that I needed to be a part of that to help and to spread all this ancient Greek wisdom that's hidden in like thousands of books and give it to everybody so that they can self-heal, and that this was where it was going to begin.
Real quick, now you also have a financial background too, right?
Oh my God!
And yes,
well,
yeah.
Well, I did whatever.
And an author.
Well, it's all God. We all have it within us to do whatever we want to do, and for most of it, I didn't even need any formal qualifications other than my business stuff. But basically, I did what every good little Greek girl does, and that is you either become a doctor, an accountant, or a lawyer. So I started off as an accountant, and then I studied law and went into taxation law. And I was very blessed by God. I reached one of the highest positions in taxation, which was basically to be on the board of directors of the Tax Practitioners Board, which was basically we would educate, prosecute, and regulate, lawyers, accountants, wealth managers, and anybody basically that did anything to do with tax. So it was a division of the IRS.
Friendliest prosecutor I've seen.
Well, can I tell you, I brought a really fresh outlook on the board because all my decision making was towards agape. It was all about love. So where a lot of them were coming from the ego, I was all about, let me bring you boys down from those ego trips, and let's look at the decisions before we start throwing someone in jail or prosecuting them from a balanced love perspective.
When you came to New York and you had that experience, and did you come? You referenced God as as several times so far. Did you come here knowing that was from God, or did you feel like was that more of an escape for you to get out of where you're at, and then, or was it like, okay, God wants me to come to New York?
No, I hear my Creator's words very clearly. He gave me an instruction that it needed to be New York. And then I was, like, for example, sitting in a cafe, and then I would hear Frank Sinatra, New York, New York. So I had 3 incidents to do with New York that validated, yes, this message is from God. And then I said to him, well, how can I live in America when I'm not a resident? I don't have a green card. I don't have anything. And he directed me, go and apply now. You are going to get your permanent residency. I will take care of it. It was the easiest thing I've ever done. I got it straight away.
Did you always have that intuition as early on, or was it something that started to come through maybe after your abuse period with your father and your stepmother?
I had it before then when I lived on the Greek island of Psara with my grandmother. I was very much a person that just wanted to be in my own world. I didn't associate with the other children. I sort of created my own little place, which I called my little secret garden, where I would grow herbs and vegetables that I would then sort of cut and take to my grandmother. And she wondered, well, where did this grow? Because I didn't see this in our garden. And really, I would talk to other beings. So I felt that there was other energetic beings out there. And I felt that I was always at their vibration, not on the human vibration with people.
Is that where did you get your cooking skills from your grandmother?
Yes, and also my auntie, which is my mother's sister, because I also, we got taken away from my father and stepmother by the police, and then my aunt adopted us, so I briefly lived with her. So she was an amazing cook as well. And then the rest of it is really tapping in to your inner God. And so what I do is I would have a few ingredients in front of me and say, God creator within, what is it that you want me to create with these ingredients, and how are they going to best serve me and my higher purpose?
Maria, what is the
I like it.
People always talk about Greek food, the Mediterranean diet, the Mediterranean lifestyle. What do you think is so significant about that being acknowledged as really one of the most healthiest diets out there for people? What do you think the significance is?
I believe it's because it uses the basic fundamental of let food be thy medicine and medicine thy food, which is Hippocrates. And if you look at the majority of the dishes that are cooked, they're high vibrational frequency.
They definitely are.
Not only that, recently there was a research study that was done, and I posted it in one of my episodes, where Greece was actually voted the #1 destination to go to for a vegan and vegetarian diet. So I think that says it all.
Okay.
Yeah, it's always it's simplistic too. It's not a lot of ingredients. It's just simplistic and few ingredients, and it comes out like magic.
Maria,
Exactly.
Maria, thank you for sharing that that part of yourself with us, so we can get a scope of getting to know you. I want to talk about a video that you just put out that got a lot of vibes on it, and
It went viral.
Yeah,
it's
really,
going viral
going
still.
viral right now. And it had to do with the med beds, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
my first question to you related to that, as an attorney, as a professional, and then also doing what you're doing with just harnessing in your inner God power. What is your connection, and are you what messages are you getting from your God or whatever you tap into that's letting you know about these med beds that really prompted you to put out there? Because before, I'd seen you talking about, when I watch your videos on the Collective Super channel, I see your cooking stuff, right? That's good in there.
They're awesome.
And they're really awesome. So you guys got to
them.
check this out. And all of a sudden, I see, you come out with the med beds thing. So what can you help us can you help us understand what prompted you for that video to be released?
Absolutely. First of all, it was guided by God. Secondly, the reason why I put it up is because the whole medbed technology is based on what I teach and how I heal and how I healed myself, which is energy, frequency, vibration. Energy is an ancient Greek word, energia. Okay, that's how they treated it in ancient Greek. Energy, frequency, vibration, which is Tessa. Okay, that's what Tesla said as well. So when I came across these med beds, first of all, I was overjoyed and broke down and cried, to be honest with you, because straight away it was the teachings of our ancient ancestors, because we're all Greek, we're all one, were coming back and consolidated and put in these beds. And so you can't separate the med bed from what I teach, which is a high vibrational mind, body, and spirit, and it's all high vibration energy.
How exactly did you heal yourself? What were the steps that you took, and how long did it take?
Absolutely. So the first thing is it took me just over 10 years. Okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I had a lot of issues, a lot of things I needed to deal with, a lot of health issues, weight issues, you name it, I had it. So I went back to ancient Greece and consolidated what I needed to do to heal, and I used myself as a guinea pig. The first one was I completely changed my diet. So
what did you take out?
All right. So basically, anything that was microwaves, out of the question. Packaged foods, gone. Meat, gone. Seafood, gone. So it was basically as close as possible to nature, certified organic, and eating the colors of the rainbow.
Eating the colors of the rainbow.
That's really good.
Okay.
Yeah, chakra colors. Don't forget, every fruit and vegetable and the color it vibrates on correlates to one of your chakras.
That would be like
I never ever thought about that.
A beet or a blueberry.
Oh, I love blueberries. It's my favorite.
Banana.
Yeah.
An orange.
Kale. Spinach. A carrot. An orange.
That kind of stuff. Are we just...
Actually, I should create something and just wear it with.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah. Where your food? Where your menu on your like as a necklace? You could put your menu there. So that's amazing.
That's how I never thought about that. I never connected that.
Yeah, I never have either.
It's all God. He channeled to me, and this is how it helped me with my healing, that the pyramid that's currently being marketed is making people sick. So what he did in 2013, I'll just hold it up. He guided to me a new framework of healing.
I saw that in your video. I had no clue what it was.
Yes. So this is the real healing framework. This is what he channeled to me.
What does all that saying mean?
All right. So basically, it's 7 layers. So which is the chakras. The first one is the spirit, that we're infinite. We don't die. We don't pass away. Our soul continues in the center. The next layer is energy, that we are energy, vibrating in frequency. The next layer is agape, or unconditional love, which is your 5-dimensional frequency and going above. So that heals. That's the vibrational frequency we need to be in. So, Telsa said 432 hertz, the music of love and high vibration. The next one is to incorporate therapies. So these therapies help the mind and spirit. So what do I mean by that? Therapies, for example, is aromatherapy. It's, listening to music therapy, color therapy, salt therapy. There was so many therapies used in ancient Greece that we've, forgotten about, that are energy healing. The next layer is prayer, meditation, and gratitude. I always say gratitude is the new attitude. The next layer is having high vibrational foods. That includes non-fluoridated water, air. Sun is very important. They practice sun therapy in ancient Greece, especially for the pineal gland. You need sun for that. It helps clear that. And of course, the practices to heal the mind. And the last layer of the framework is movement and sleep. So that's the real diet. Diet is an ancient Greek word that means a way of life. So if anybody is writing a book and calling it a diet and only talking about food, they don't understand what the word means.
That's fascinating. I never heard about it from that perspective, Maria.
Real quick, no surprise then that, the Illuminati, the Cabal, the deep, whatever you're going to call them, that for years and years and years, it's been ingrained in our brain. The sun causes cancer. Whatever you do, don't go out in the sun. Cover up as much as possible from head to toe so you look like, a sheik.
Exactly.
Couldn't be any further from the truth.
Before we get in the med beds again, I want to get there, but I want to ask you one thing regarding the diet, the way of life. Is now fish also? So fish is not something that is not good to have, because there's a lot of misconceptions.
I just had the best Greek shrimp scampi the other day, Maria.
The saganaki, the shrimp saganaki. What I do on my website, and I also have a really good video on the Collective Super channel. It's to do with high vibe food. So I present 2 columns: high vibe food, low vibe food. Okay. The whole aim is that we get as much as possible on the high vibe. Now, the reason why seafood, animal meat, poultry is low vibe is what the ancient Greeks believed, and I also believe, is that when we are sacrificing an animal, we are taking on that pain in our body. So this is why in ancient Greece, the majority of the philosophers and the healers were vegan, because in order for them to have a complete channel to their inner God and consciousness, they needed to be purified and nothing clouding their connection. And animals, seafood, and all of that actually clouds your connection with source.
That's fascinating. Damn seafood, Maria.
I know.
Well, look, it's a balancing act. But let me tell you.
So as long as the one column is better than the other column, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But can I tell you
how
we're moving to higher dimensions? If we really ascend to a higher dimension, we will not need food. So we're going to find, as I'm finding, that I'm on a raw diet now, meaning raw fruit and vegetable. And I'm finding I'm eating less and less, to the point where the light around us is our food supply. So really,
my appetite has definitely gone down severely. And we eat smaller portions, significantly small, and you're fuller faster.
That's for sure. We are fuller faster.
Yeah,
because we stopped eating meat about
the week
after Thanksgiving.
No, it was the day after Thanksgiving.
The day after Thanksgiving, and I know maybe I'll eat it like once a week, but I used to eat a lot more. And
I
noticed that you never did. I can notice a big difference. So, all right. Well, listen, that's pretty cool there. So, there's a pro and con column on your website, right? A high vibe and bad vibe thing that people can check out.
She also has videos of it too.
Yeah, you guys
on the Collective. So they can check the video out on the Collective Super channel, and I actually go through those columns.
Maria, let's go ahead and topic at hand, hot topic of the day, med beds, right? So let's let's talk about that a minute. So we got these this phrase med bed that's been heavily going around here. I mean, since last year at least, I would say. Can you tell us from your perspective what your interpretation of, number one, is of the med bed as you see it, and number two is, are we going to be seeing it in our, like, as far as everybody else? And we understand that there's people that have it in certain areas, or they're in use in some capacity right now. But number one, your interpretation of it, and number two, what you see for the general population.
But before you answer that question, though, I heard you say something the other day, and I was like, damn, okay, that makes sense. That you said that the beds are connected to our consciousness. Now that's interesting.
Absolutely. So this is why the whole show is happening around us to wake us up so that we can go from 4D, which is the awakening, to 5D, which is what the ancient Greeks called agape. Okay, agape is the frequency of love. Okay, which is also the same frequency of CBD oil. Same frequency, love. It's not an accident. So basically, to really get the full benefit of these beds, is your energy needs to be as closely aligned as possible to the med bed. And what the med bed then does is it lifts and amps up your vibration so that you can get maximum healing. If someone is going to go into the med bed and be consumed by fear and angry and depressed, what you're going to do is you're going to lift up anger and depression and fear.
So it'll have the reverse effect.
We'd like to share a story. While it may sound fictional, it's very real and happening right now in front of our very eyes. It's called The Great Awakening. Our sisters and brothers that come on Spiritually Raw are doing everything to help expand global consciousness, and in many cases putting everything on the line to share their messages about what's happening around the world for the greater good of humanity, while exposing the truth of the deep state and the dark forces behind it all. We are living in the most unbelievable times. Some may even say biblical, scary for many and yet exhilarating for others. Together we are taking part in getting everyone acclimated to the Great Awakening process and the exciting new discoveries that lie ahead. The sad part is many of our amazing guests are being heavily censored, socially shamed, and outright banned on many platforms for exposing the truth and piercing the veil. By becoming a viewer, you bring your powerful energy towards this global movement of other truth seekers. If you're resonating with our show, please let us know by hitting the like button, sharing, subscribing, turn on the notification, and leave some comments. Together, we will turn the universal key to global harmony and create a unified world. And remember, tune in often, tell all your friends, and most importantly, may all your dreams come true. Thanks, and God bless Patriots worldwide.